Hey guys, this is Jacques from MakuluLinux. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to be taking a look at the new AI interfaces, which most users can, if you've patched your system, you can simply boot it up from the main menu, go to programming, and it's there under Electra AI chatbot. If you boot that up, you'll get this interface. On the new Pro ISOs, and I actually updated it today, you can also run it straight from the desktop as well as from the panel widget on the top in the panel right there. And when you boot it up, you'll get this little welcome screen that will sort of give you like a little bit of a breakdown, the different AIs and so forth. If you look on top here, you'll see there are 4 buttons: Bart AI, Bing AI, ChatGPT AI, and Electra AI. You also have an info button, which is this screen, right? And you have a report AI server issues. Right, so let me start from the right first. As you can see, we're on the info screen. If you go to report AI server issues, let's click that button. It will load a little screen here. Let's actually full screen this. And here you can choose which AI you're having issues with. If any of them are down or you're having any issues with them, you can just select. For example, if you're having issues with Bing, you can click on Bing and you can click back to the previous, but it will take you to the next screen. And here you can say, Bing is giving me an error. I think the server is faulty, or whatever. You can also bold, italic, underline. You can put it into bullets and so forth. And I think you can set the text size as well, small, large, whatever. And then once you finish writing whatever you want to write, you input your email address and you click submit. Now, the reason we ask email address is so that, we could contact you back to let you know the fault has been fixed. I mean, if you don't put an email address, how are you going to know that we fixed the issue? So you put in your email address, email@email.com or whatever the case might be, and you just hit on okay, sorry, there we go, email@email.com. That's it, and it says thank you for your submission has been received. That's it. It will then send an email to us, and we will actually, it's very quick, we'll get it within a minute or two, maybe a few minutes, but we'll get it. We'll get the email fairly quickly, and then we can jump onto the problem and fix it. Or if it's not a problem, or if there's it's been fixed or whatever the case might be, we can just notify you. Okay, so that's info and reports. We've got a little report issues button. As you see, it works very quick and very efficient. So if you have an AI problem, you can just contact us straight away. So that's nice. And it's all in the same window. You don't even have to exit. Now onto the AIs. Okay, so we've got Bing AI, which is orange. I know I showed you guys these AIs yesterday, but they are now fully functional. All of them are online, working. We've patched it through. You guys should have access to this. So you've got Bing AI, which is orange. You've got, Bart, which is orange. You've got Bing, which is blue. You've got ChatGPT, which is red. And you've got Electra, which is purple. Now, all 4 of them, I've designed a very similar interface, which means they work on these little chat bubbles. So it's like a messenger kind of effect, right? So we're going to have a little fun with these. We're going to compare the 4 and see how they compare to each other, right? And so we're going to ask a couple of questions. We're going to ask each AI 3 or 4 questions, and then we're going to move on to the next AI and see how they differ, how, their responses and so forth. So let's start with something easy. I'll keep the topic related to, I don't know, something interesting like space or whatever. So my first question will be, how does warp drive technology work in the Star Trek universe? Okay, so that's going to be my first question. In fact, we should probably put these into a, let it search. We should maybe put these into a little mouse pad, Gedit. There we go, little Gedit there. We'll put our first question there. How does warp drive technology work in the Star Trek universe? So Bart took 14 seconds, and it says there, warp drive is a fictional faster than light propulsion technology featured in the Star Trek franchise. It allows starships to travel at the speed far greater than the speed of light, which is impossible in real life due to the laws of physics. Okay, so it gives an answer there. It talks about the science behind how it says to involve manipulation of subspace, a theoretical dimension that is interwoven with our own by creating a bubble of subspace around the ship. The warp drive allows it to travel faster beyond the speed of light in normal. The amount of warp speed that a ship can achieve is measured in multiples of the speed of light. Okay, so it refers to speed of light factor WF, which is logarithmic scale, and warp factor WF, which is a linear scale. Okay, the fastest warp speed that is ever mentioned in Star Trek is warp 10. Okay, so it gives a fairly good answer here. Okay, let's follow that up with how do they solve the problem of time dilation? And can you please explain what time dilation is? Okay, so that's our second question. How do they solve the problem of time dilation? And please explain what time dilation is. I'm just going to hit enter. Now, time dilation is the fact that if you're moving faster than the speed of light, then you're literally time traveling. So when you come back to Earth, you have not aged, but the people on Earth have aged by many years. That's the time dilation problem with warp speed, or going faster than the speed of light. And so here it gives a description of time dilation as a real-world phenomenon that occurs as an object travels at high speed relative to another object. And how do they say in Star Trek universe, warp drive technology allows starships to travel faster than the speed of light by creating a warp bubble of subspace around the ship. The bubble allows the ship to travel through space at the faster speed of light without experiencing the effects of time dilation. Okay, so this gives quite a nice answer here. Okay, great. Okay, my last question. We're going to ask two more, because I also want to ask an online question. My second last question is, how does Star Trek and Star Wars differ when traveling at warp speeds? Let's see, how does Star Trek and Star Wars differ when traveling at warp speed? So that will be our third question. Let's go plonk that down. But we didn't plonk down the second one. And time dilation, how to... Okay. Let's go second one. There we go. Okay, so it says here, in the Star Trek universe, warp drive is a fictional technology. The problem with time dilation is solved. Okay, in Star Wars universe, hyperspace travel is a fictional technology. So it actually says here that there are several key differences between warp drive and hyperspace travel. The first warp drive is faster, the more efficient form of travel. Second warp drive. Now, the thing that I don't like about BART is that it seems to repeat a lot of itself. Like it's repeating a lot of things that it's already said. It's like this whole section has basically been covered with some of the other answers. And so really, you only really start seeing the answer over here that you're looking for. Okay. Other than that, though, it's fairly decent. Let's ask it something, current affairs, right? What's the latest news on AI and robotics, specifically with putting AI into robot bodies? Okay, so let's see if it can find any info on that. It won't give us links, I don't think so, but it will probably give us some info if there is any current info online about that. Okay, so that'll be our fourth question. Let's see. Now, the first question took 14 seconds. Second one took 11 seconds. Third one took 11.9 seconds, so it's about 12 seconds. This last one is going 18.3. It says, here are some recent news on AI robotics, specifically putting AI into robot bodies. A new robot named Amiko. Okay, that's actually not new news, but okay. A team of researchers at University of Berkeley have developed a new method for creating robots that can learn to walk on their own. The company called Boston Dynamics has released new video of Atlas performing a series of Parker moves. A team of research. Okay, so it's giving some details about obviously what it found online. Right, so those are our four questions, and you can see that Bart is quite capable. I mean, these are decent. Maybe we should ask a programming question as well. Let's make one last question, fifth question. And let's make this, can you write me code for a GUI, GTK GUI application that can, let's see, that can do what? That can search the Bing, that can search Bing. Bing, should we use Bing or DuckDuckGo? Bing, let's use Bing. That can search Bing for the latest stock trends and stock market headlines, and no, that's okay, just something simple. We don't want to overcomplicate it. Can you write that? Okay, so let's ask if it can write code for a GTK GUI, not GUI, GUI application. There we go. Let's see if it will write the code for that GUI application there. And it's taken 7 seconds. Okay. "18 seconds. It's sure I can." And it writes the GUI. There we go. There we go. Import, response. There's the window. Okay, very nice. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so clearly it can code as well. So it can do online. It can you can have a conversation with it, ask it some questions. Okay, let's go to Bing now. Let's go feed the same questions into. So Bart is very capable. Let's go to Bing, and we're going to ask the first question. How does warp drive technology work in the Star Trek universe? And hit enter, and let's see what Bing says. Now, Bing is a little bit of a slower model. Quite often it will take like 30 seconds, 20, 30, 40 even. I've had it a couple of times where it's gone like 43 seconds. But for the most part, it's usually under 30. Okay, so there we go. It gives an answer. Now, Bing's answers are much shorter, and I think it's because it's more catered towards being a search engine than an actual chatbot. So it does give information, though. The information is usually quite accurate. So let's see, the warp drive in Star Trek is a fictional. Okay, so again, it talks about a fictional propulsion system. The basic functional principle of the warp drive in Star Trek is used as the same for all spaceships. A strong energy source, usually called a warp core or sometimes an intermix chamber, generates a high energy plasma. The plasma transported to warp field generators via lines that are reminiscent of pipes. The plasma are then converted into a subspace field that envelops the ship and distorts the space-time continuum around it. The ship then moves at velocities that could greatly exceed the speed of light. Okay, so it doesn't give a long answer, but it does give an accurate answer. So that's pretty good. So it's not as long as BART, for example, but I mean, it does give the information that you ask for. Okay, so let's ask the follow-up question of how do they solve the problem of time dilation, and can you explain what time dilation is? Now let's see how long this. It did take a little long there to generate 18 seconds. I mean, I suppose that's only about 7 seconds longer than BART did, but still. Okay. Again, it seems to be going 16 seconds. Time dilation is a difference in the elapsed time measured by two observers due to the relative velocity of them. Okay, so it's giving a very good detailed answer there. However, again, it's quite short, but it is to the point. As I read this, I can see here that the answer is not inaccurate. It's not very creative. It's not. Okay, so let's go. How does Star Trek and Star Wars differ when traveling at warp speed? So let's enter that one and see what that comes up with. Wow, these answers are pretty short, eh? Geez. I would have expected Bing to be a little longer than this, but I do understand that it's more an information bot than a chat bot, really. Where BART and ChatGPT are sort of catered to be sort of more creative with their answers. They're language models. Okay, Star Trek and Star Wars differ in their approach to faster than light travel. In Star Trek, ships travel at faster speed of light using warp drive technology, creating a bubble, subspace, blah blah blah. This allows the travel faster than Okay, but it doesn't say anything about Star Wars. It just explains Star Trek. It doesn't say. It says they differ, but it doesn't explain that Star Wars uses hyperspace or hyperdrives. It doesn't even say that. So it just explains warp drive from Star Trek. Wow. Okay, so it didn't even address the second question, because I had two questions there. How do they differ? And each one. It only explained that one. It never explained that one. Okay. Okay, well, I suppose maybe it didn't see a reason to, but it didn't even use the word of hyperspace or whatever, hyperspace technology. Okay, let's move on to the next one. What's the latest news on AI robotics, specifically putting AI into robot bodies? And let's see what it comes up with. I expect a very good answer here, because Bing is people are now messaging me. I expect this to be a very good answer, because Bing is supposed to be more of an information search bot. There we go. Now this is where Bing shines. It's now actually providing links, and so you can actually go read up further. It's world's most advanced realistic body will terrify you. New York Post. Okay, now this is probably not exactly what I asked for, but it is physical body artificial intelligence. It is linking me to, I suppose, projects that are working on putting AI into robots. But I was asking about the latest news, not because that's dated 2020 there, 2020, 2021. I was asking the latest news. I can see the dates there. However, this is probably there probably just hasn't been a lot of progress on that. I don't know. So maybe those are just the latest articles. I do think Bart actually gave a better answer there, but Bing did provide links. Okay, so let's go ask the last question. And this question is about making an application, coding. I don't think Bing is very good at code. Does it do any code? I don't know. We'll see. Can you write code for a GTK GUI application? I can search Bing. There we go. I cannot write code for you. However, I can tell you that you can use Bing API to get the latest stock trends. Okay, so it does not write code at all, Bing. What a bummer. Other than that, you can see clearly that Bing is more an informational bot than a chat bot. It doesn't give you that sort of personality of chatting. But if you are looking for accurate information, Bing is probably going to have that strength. So to each his own. Let's move over to ChatGPT. Now this is going to be the one that's probably going to give us some creative answers. Let's see what ChatGPT says. How does warp drive technology work in the Star Trek universe? Now first, before I start that, I want to...
How does warp driver technology work in the Star...
Sorry.
You.
What I wanted to say was, I just want to point out here, I want to show again GPT 3.5 Turbo. I want to show that it is running on GPT 3.5 Turbo. Yes, I'm powered by GPT 3.5 Turbo. In fact, it's Turbo-613, I think, is the model. So it is the latest of the GTP 3.5 Turbo. I was very tempted to actually connect GTP 4, but that gets a little pricey. So this is the newest of the GTP 3.5 Turbo, like the
Single quote.
absolute newest. Okay, so let's start the questions. How does warp drive technology work in the Star Trek universe? And let's see what it comes up with. 8 seconds. And I can see it's generating a reply there. In Star Trek universe, warp drive technology allows for faster than light travel by creating a warp field around a starship. Okay, it actually said dilithium crystals, which none of the others said, so that's good. Other than that, the answers are probably very much the same. Okay, it's talking about an enormous amount of energy, warp coils, warp field, field, space, time, continuum ship. It's not saying anything about subspace or warping. Let's see. Warp drive technology using a fictional concept. Okay, so it's pretty much giving a very similar answer, but it's not talking about subspace bubbles or warp, none of that. Some underlying velocities just past the speed of light. Now, so far, out of all three, Bart has given the better answer because it actually spoke about Warp 10 and it actually referenced some Star Trek episodes as well. Next Generation, okay. Other than that, a lot of the answers are very similar. Okay, so let's ask how do they solve the time dilation, and can you explain what time dilation is? Okay, so there we go. Okay, it says in Star Trek universe, the concept of time dilation, specifically in relation to warp field technology. Okay, so it gives there we go. It's actually according to Einstein's theory of relativity, the time dilation occurs. Okay, so this is a fairly good answer because it actually yes. Okay, I would say this answer is actually very much on par with with Bart's first answer. Bart actually referenced some Star Trek as well, where this referenced Einstein. Okay, so now we're going to ask, how does Star Trek and Star Wars differ? When it comes to traveling at warp speeds, and let's see if it actually gives a nice answer here, because Bing was very disappointing with this answer specifically. Okay, so again, 7 seconds. So far, this is faster than Bart. Bart was like 11 seconds, 14 seconds, and then there was 12, and then 11 again. Okay, so it says here Star Trek has different approaches to faster light speeds, though both use the term warp to describe it. In Star Trek, warp drive technology, On the other hand, in Star Wars, faster light hyperspace. Hyperspace is a separate dimension that can be accessed by starships equipped with hyperdrives. When the ship enters, it bypasses the normal. Okay, so this is a very nice answer. ChatGPT is giving very good answers here. I've got to say, I'm quite impressed with these answers. I would say this and Bart, they're very much similar. Very, very similar. So I'm very, very impressed with that. Okay, so ChatGPT is pretty good. Okay, so let's ask it what's the latest news on AI and robotics. And this is where it's going to fall short, because ChatGPT has no data after 2021. Which means anything that it references now, as you can see. I don't have access to real-time news, but I can provide some information on the topic AI robotics. So the only information it has is pre-2021. Now I do not understand why OpenAI does not give ChatGPT web access. I mean, this is a big part of pretty much day-to-day life now. We're so connected with each other, social media, everything else. How can you be talking to an AI that doesn't know what's actually going on in the world? Anyway, so this is the very only disappointing part. Other than that, it gave good answers, but when it came to online current affairs, it knows nothing. Let's ask it. It can. I know ChatGPT can code, so let's ask it if it can write a code for this GUI. Let's see what it says. I expect it to give us some code here. Also strange, all the AIs always go to Python. They seem to love Python, as you can see. There we go, Python. Okay. It seems to be very similar to, except it's using Bing. Very similar to the BART code actually. Okay, and it's giving some nice details as well. Wow, that's quite good. Okay, so I would say BART did very well on all fronts. Bing fell a little short with personality. Other than that, its answers were accurate. Its online search, I think, was worse than BART, though, because BART referenced some newer videos and things that I'd seen lately, and Bing did not. Bing just linked articles that were sort of dated 2020 and 2021, which is 2 years ago, and older. ChatGPT is pretty good almost on all fronts, but it falls short because it has no internet access. So other than that, if you don't care about internet access, ChatGPT is pretty decent. But if you needed to access something, you know, the thing where this is going to fall short is not just that it doesn't know what's happening in the world with latest news. If there's something that changed in, even with coding, with anything that's changed since 2021, it's not aware of it. So when you're trying to code something or trying to fix something and you're doing pip installs and you need some kind of module, it doesn't even know what the current version of the current modules are. It doesn't know that, when it's telling you to pip install Python dash something, whatever module, it doesn't even know what the newest module is. It's not even aware of any code changes or anything because, pre-2021. So that's where I feel ChatGPT really needs to catch up. I mean, it started strong, but, in 2022 when it came out, it really didn't matter that it was about a year out of date, but we're in 2023 and now we're mid-2023, which means ChatGPT is 2 years now, almost 2 years out of date. So yeah, it's aging. Okay, so now let's move on to Electra. And now Electra is our own model, which is based actually on BART, a model based on BART, where we also added Bing and Google, and we kind of tweaked it to our own liking. So let's see how it handles. And I expect it to do very well because we spent a lot of time on this. So we asked the first question: how does warp drive technology work in the Star Trek universe? 7 seconds! Wow! Wow! BART took, I think the first time was 11 point something. Bing took 18. ChatGPT, I think, was also about 7 seconds. 7 seconds, and look at this. Look at this. Warp drive technology in Star Trek universe works by creating subspace field around Starship, which distorts the fabric of space-time. That's the word I was looking for. None of them was speaking. Not a single one of the other AIs used space-time. Space-time, and allows the ship to travel at speed faster than light. The warp field is generated by a warp core, which is a powerful fusion reactor that uses deuterium and antimatter as fuel. The warp core is controlled by dilithium crystals, which are rare and valuable minerals that are essential for warp drive technology. Wow, that's good. The speed of a starship at warp is measured in warp factors. Warp 1 is the speed of light, and the warp factors higher than 1 allows the ship to travel faster than light. However, the faster the starship travels, the more energy is required to maintain the warp field. At warp 10, the theoretical maximum warp factor of the starship would be traveling at an infinite speed. However, it is impossible to reach warp 10 because it would require an infinite amount of energy. The warp drive technology has a number of limitations. It is not possible to travel faster than warp 10 and use the warp. Wow, this is great. This is better than all of them. Just look at this. Okay, blah, 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 blah. And it goes, despite the limitations, warp drive is a vital technology in the Star Trek universe. It allows starships to travel to distant star systems and explore the galaxy. Warp drive is also essential to Starfleet's mission to explore, protect, and serve. Here are some additional details on warp drive. Wow! Look at this. It even breaks down some key factors after them giving the main answer. Wow, that just blew me away. This is our AI, by the way, Electra. Wow, great stuff. And I was not expecting that. I was hoping for it, but I was not expecting it. Right, great stuff. Really, really impressed. Okay, so far on the first question, definitely Electra's the clear winner here. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. How do they solve the problem of time dilation, and can you explain what time dilation is? Let's see. First one took 7 seconds. Okay, it's 9 seconds for the second one. Time dilation is a phenomenon in which time passes at different rates for the observer in different frames of reference. It is a consequence of Albert Einstein's theory of special relativity. The faster the object moves, the slower time passes for that object. This is nice because it's actually explaining it in simple terms. This is because the object's mass increases as its speed increases, and mass curves space-time. Again, that's being used. Great stuff. The curvature of space-time, again, good, causes time to slow down. The amount of dilation is calculated using the following formula. It actually gives the formula, and it actually breaks the formula down for you. The speed of light, the time intervals measured by observer moving. This is great stuff. None of the others did that, by the way. Bart didn't do that. Bing didn't do that. ChatGPT didn't do that. Electra's the only one that actually gave the formula and breaks it down for you. And then it gives you examples. If a spaceship travels at a speed of 99% the speed of light, and then will pass 7 times slower than for the astronauts on board the space, blah, blah, blah. There's no known way to solve the problem. However, it is possible to blah, 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 blah. And then, after it gave that nice, incredibly detailed answer of what time dilation is, it now goes and answers my second question. In the Star Trek universe, time dilation is a common occurrence. Starships often and then they say here how it is solved. Wow. Nice. Nice. I've got to say, I'm very impressed with that. Okay, now let's ask, how does... oh, by the way, I must say, I think Electra's taken both. The first and the second question, definitely. Just look at that. Look at the amount of detail. Now we ask, how does it differ? Star Trek and Star Wars differ when traveling at warp speeds. Let's see what it comes up with. 7 seconds again. So quick. Very, very quick. So Star Trek and Star Wars are two of the most popular science fiction franchises in the world. Both franchises feature starships that can travel faster than the speed of light, but they do so in different ways. Wow, look at this. It actually references that they are fiction franchises, both of them, and that they're popular, and it's in science, so that's nice. In Star Trek, starships travel at the creating a subspace field around the ship. Field distorts the fabric of space-time. Again, none of the others used space-time, allowing the ship to travel faster than the speed of light. In Star Wars, starship travel through hyperspace, of course, which is parallel dimension that extends alongside our own. Ships travel through hyperspace by creating a wormhole that connects the current location to the destination in hyperspace. None of the others said that. They did say that it's a parallel dimension that exists alongside our own, but they never explained beyond that point. Here it actually explains. Wow, great. The faster the ship travels through hyperspace, the shorter the trip will be. However, traveling through hyperspace can be dangerous, as ships can be pulled out of hyperspace by gravity wells or other objects. There are a few key differences between warp drive and hyperspace travel. Wow, so it's even going into the key differences. Warp drive is a more efficient way to travel, as it requires less energy to maintain a warp field than it does to create a wormhole. However, warp drive is also more limited, as it is impossible to create faster than warp 10. Hyperspace travel is less efficient, but it is not limited by the same speed and constraints as warp drive. And then it gives you another key difference, is that the way they affect time. Warp drive causes time dilation. Okay. Wow. This comes back to our previous questions here. It actually links up nice. Where that means time passes more slowly. Hyperspace does not cause time dilation. Okay. The different ways that Star Trek and Star Wars handle faster than light reflect the different philosophies of the two franchises. Again, it references that. Wow, I'm blown away. I got to tell you, So all three, the first three answers, I think Electra has taken top spot here. I think it's really kicked the butt of all three the others. Wow. And says, despite the differences, both warp drive and are essential technologies in respective universes. They allow ships to travel, Wow. And it actually talks about the missions of Starfleet and the Rebel Alliance. None of the others even mentioned, well, they barely even mentioned Star Wars, but wow, nice. And they actually talk about the galaxy. Okay, so let's go now on to our fourth question. And that's the AI and robotics question. What's the latest news on AI and robotics, specifically with putting AI into robot bodies? Here are some of the latest news on AI robotics, specifically putting AI into robot bodies. Google AI has developed a new type of robot that can walk on its own. Yes, yes. None of the others talked about Google AI because I've been seeing that as well. That's something that's very, very new. None of the others referenced that. Boston Dynamics, yes, I've seen their videos as well. And then they talk about the MIT research, which I think Bart and Bing actually both might have said that. One of them, I know Bart said that, but I think Bing might have referenced that as well. But I'm very happy to see that it actually spoke about Google AI. So because it did that, I'm going to give that point to Electra as well. And then let's go see if it can write code. So now I'm going to ask it to write code. Can you write code? And let's see what it does. And this is 6 seconds, by the way. 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 9 seconds, 7 seconds. The last one, 11 seconds. And it goes, yes, sure, yes, code. Okay, and there it goes. There we go. It's writing code. So the only one that can't write code is Bing. And then the only one that's not connected to the internet is ChatGPT. Wow, it's also giving quite a lot of detail here. Nice. Okay, so on the coding front, I think Bart, ChatGPT, and Electra all pretty much, the code all looks very similar to me. So I think all three are searching Bing, I think, as well. So no, I think this one did Google. Anyway, so Bart, Bing, Bart, ChatGPT, and Electra, I'm going to give them all equal points on the coding front. But for the rest, I got to tell you, man, look at this. Just look at this. I think Electra is pulling ahead here. Okay, so now I'm gonna see if I can just push Electra a little further. Can you rewrite that into a joke? No, let's go. Can you rewrite that into a song? So we're going to ask her to actually write this code, this GTK code, into a song. Turn this GTK code into a song. I mean, that's not easy to do. Sure, here's a song about the stock market written in the style of a country song. Oh, wow. I'm a stock market trader. I'm always on the go. I'm looking for the next big thing to make my fortune grow. I'm searching for the latest trends. Wow, look at this. But if you're willing to take the risk, the stock market could be a great way to make your fortune. Okay, so that's awesome. Now let's do this. Write it in the form of a bedtime story. Let's do that. Write it in the form of a bedtime story. Let's see if it can do that. 7 seconds. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Billy who loved the stock market. He would spend hours every day reading about stocks and trying to figure out which ones were going up in value. Wow, look at this. One day, Billy's parents told him, look how detailed. I mean, this is quite long for a bedtime story. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. Now, let's say, write it in the form of a joke. Write it in the form of a joke. How do you make a joke about a stock market? Okay, let's see, 6 seconds. Sure, here's a joke about the stock market. Why did the stockbroker quit his job? He couldn't stand the volatility. And it actually explains the joke. Very nice, very nice. So as you can see, you've got 4 very capable AIs. You've got Bart AI, Bing AI, Chat GTP AI, and Electra. All four very capable, very, very capable. Now, they all have their own strengths and weaknesses, I think. But I'm obviously biased because, you know, Electra AI is the one that we've been working on. But you can clearly see that we have put in a lot of work. It gives great answers, detailed as well. Anyway, so all four are now available. Okay, so now that I've compared them, you can see that they are very good. All four very capable. You can access them from the programming after you've updated your system. Once you've run your updates, sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade, you should be able to open them from here, Electra AI chatbot. If you open up that, you'll get to this little GUI, and then you can select any of them, and you can full screen and just start typing, just start talking to the AI. On the Pro builds, and this is the latest Pro build that I compiled today and put out. So if you did purchase a Pro build, you can go back to the same links that you used before. The new one is in the same links, in the same folder. The Pro build will now have it, of course, that same GUI. You can just access it from the top panel. And there is now a shortcut on the desktop as well. So you can easily access it no matter where you are. And then, of course, you can just select your AI and just start chatting. As you can see, very, very good. And I've got to tell you, I'm very impressed with Electra, by the way. I've got to mention that because I wasn't expecting it to do so well. But we do try and keep all of these servers online all of the time. We are a free project, so our server boxes are not big and we are on a budget. I don't expect problems, but if one of these do go down, like if there's you're trying to, you know, write and you're getting errors or whatever, it's not working, you can simply just report it there and we'll fix it straight away. We'll try and keep them all up all the time. So you have nice variety. You don't even have to leave the window. You stay in the same window. You can just jump between the AIs. I don't think anywhere else this exists. I don't think there's a website anywhere, is there, where you can just jump between the AIs like that? I'm not sure. Definitely not for free. You know, with the rest, at other places you've got to register and log in and pay money and things like that. Here it's all free. No money, no registration, no logins, nothing. And it's all right on your desktop. You don't even have to open a web browser. Amazing, amazing. Anyway, so this is live, by the way. If you haven't tried the latest Macs yet, go grab it. It's on the MakuluLinux website. Download it, install it, and just do the updates and you'll have this. If you do have it, just update your system and then you'll have access to it. It is in the main menu. This, you won't have the shortcut and you won't have that unless you have the Pro build. It is in your main menu, however, you can just get it there from the main menu, Electra AI chatbot. If you upgrade it to the Pro build, it will be in the panel. It will also be down there. The Pro build also has access to voice and some other great features. So there's definitely a lot of advantages to the Pro build. But the non-Pro build, you can get it in the main menu under that little icon there, that shortcut. That's it, guys. That's my video for today. I just wanted to show you that we have brought these new features to you. And not only did we bring the new features, I actually compared the AIs. You can see how capable they are. They can code, they can explain things, they can, most of them can search online as well. And you see how well Electra did there. So I always highly recommend that people use Electra. Maybe go to the others if you find the situation where Electra doesn't give you a good enough answer for you know, whatever your needs are. Other than that, it's nice to actually have this out there. We've been working for a long time on this, so it's nice for it to come together like this and actually function. And it's out there for you guys to try now. We'll gather all feedback over the next couple of weeks, and you know, when we put out beta 2, hopefully solve any issues that might still exist. Other than that, thank you for watching, and support the project, please. Upgrade to Pro, it's only $33. Otherwise, you can always donate to us. We have a PayPal, or you can become a Patreon member, and then you get early access to all builds, all features, everything else before the public does. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Please leave comments below. I'll reply, or like, subscribe, and blah, blah, blah. You know the rest.